Hi, this is Julius, and this is another episode of our book sharing with Julius. So in this episode, you will learn the first chapter of the book, The Secret to Saving and Building Your Future. It's about getting to know basic financial concepts. So I do hope you learn something in this episode. So getting to know the basic financial concepts. So let me read this for you. Financial concepts and solutions may not be the most exciting subjects to learn about, but with discipline and patience, you can understand the fundamentals and appreciate their importance. Knowing the basic financial concepts is the beginning of building a solid financial foundation. So, tama nga naman, no? Most of the time, most of things that are that makes us really successful are boring. 'Di ba po? When we were studying, of course, mas gusto nating maglaro kaysa mag-study, 'di ba? Pero yung talagang nagbibigay sa atin ng magandang future is to learn, 'di ba? To study. The same with our situation right now. If you're working, it's better na it's much fun if you go home and then anong tawag nito, manood ka ng TV or you waste your time looking at your Facebook news feeds, di ba? But actually, mas boring kasi na manood ng mga financial concepts and solutions or magbasa ng libro regarding finances kasi hindi siya ganun ka-entertaining. But of course, we want to change our lives. So meaning, most people that are really wealthy have the discipline talaga na matuto. And one of the important things talaga na dapat nating matutunan is financial concepts and solutions. Kasi para meron tayong guide in terms of finances natin. Sabi din sa libro that financial independence daw is not only a dream. It is a priority that every person should aim for. Take control of your future by learning how to. Ito po yung dapat nating matutunan. Dapat tayong matuto how to make money, how to save money, how to grow money, how to protect money. No one else will do this for you but you. So, you take charge of your future. Kailangan talaga nating mag-take charge sa ating future. We must know financial concepts. We must learn financial concepts. Mas okay na yung manood tayo ng mga videos na boring or magbasa tayo ng mga videos na boring pero nabago naman yung buhay natin. Anyway, pag nasanay tayo, it becomes more interesting and magiging habit na natin eh. So noon hindi naman ako mahilig talaga magbasa ng libro. But when I started deciding to change my life, I started to really read books that could give me wisdom and knowledge. So yun, and then building blocks of a strong financial foundation. This is one of the concepts that you need to learn. So building a solid financial foundation is just like building a house. You build it from ground up. So here's how a financial foundation looks like. So ganito po yung financial foundation. So para tayo nagpapatayo ng bahay, of course, if we want to build a really sturdy house or talagang matibay na bahay, gusto natin na okay yung materials na ginagamit and of course, tama yung paggagawa. Diba? So hindi natin gusto yung bahay natin, signal number 2 lang, talagang giba na. We want it to be really sturdy. We want it to na talagang matibay. So ganito siya ang financial house natin dapat. So we start with a base. Ang pinaka-base po ng financial house natin is itong healthcare. Okay? So itong healthcare po, basically there are 2 types of healthcare. May tinatawag po tayong short-term, may tinatawag po tayong long-term healthcare. Okay? Pag sinasabi po natin short-term healthcare, ito po usually yung binibigay po ng company natin while we are still working. And you don't have much problem because you're still an asset sa company. So, magpro-provide sila. Okay? So, yan yung isang klase. Now, the other healthcare, type of healthcare is long-term healthcare. Kasi di ba yung short-term healthcare, from the word short, panandalian. Meaning, while you're still working with the company, covered ka. But yung question ko, kailan ba usually lumalabas yung mga sakit? Hindi naman po during the time na nag-work tayo. Usually pag wala ng trabaho, usually pag matanda na. And what you need when you get old is a replacement of your short-term care. Ano po yun? long-term healthcare. And most wealthy people na na-manage po na maayos yung pera nila or yung wealth nila are protecting their wealth by getting as early as their 20s, 30s, ng long-term healthcare. Para pagdating ng araw, hindi nila magagamit yung assets nila for hospital bills. Ganun po siya. So yung long-term healthcare, the concept is even beyond 60 you're covered. Okay? As long as nag-invest ka before 60. So yan po yung healthcare, yung pinaka-base. Then next is protection. And I think you'd agree with me. Pag sinasabi po nating protection, meaning we protect our assets. Diba? Pag sinasabi natin gusto nating i-protect yung sasakyan natin, kukuha tayo ng insurance because we want na pag nabangga, covered, diba? Maayos agad, mapalitan agad pag totally wrecked. So, ang bahay natin, gusto din nating ma-insure. Baka may bagyo or masunog, di ba? But, ang problem usually is that yung bahay insured, yung sasakyan insured, pero yung tao na nakatira sa bahay, yung tao na nagda-drive sa sasakyan, hindi insured. Ang tanong ko, sino ba yung mas importante? Yung sasakyan or yung taong nagda-drive? Or yung sasakyan or ikaw? So, dapat po pala, meron tayong tinatawag na life insurance. Ito po yung protection na part. If you love your family, okay, you must get your life insurance. Bakit? Because if you love your family, you must think beyond your lifetime. Kasi pag wala na ba tayo, nawawala din ba yung responsibilities natin sa family? I mean, if we die, do our children don't go to school? No, hindi, di ba? Mag-aaral pa rin yan. So the purpose of the life insurance, in case of premature death, may makukuha sila pang-replace po sa income na hindi natin nabigay. I mean sa funds na hindi natin nabigay sa kanila kasi kinuha tayo na maaga. It's a way of telling your family that I love you, I don't want you to suffer even if wala na ako. Okay? That's protection. Next is debt management. Pagbayad po ito ng mga utang. Ang madalas ginagawa ng mga Pinoy, nangungutang sa iba para ibayad sa ibang utang. We don't advise that. Okay? We will elaborate more about debt management along the way while we discuss regarding this within the book. The next is emergency fund. Emergency fund is at least 3 to 6 months of your income. You save it. Pwede mo yung ilagay sa bank. Okay, banks are good for emergency fund. Pwede rin sa premium deposit fund. You will learn a lot about emergency funds dito sa IMG. But the purpose of emergency fund is if mawalan tayo ng trabaho, hindi na tayo dapat mangutang. Kasi meron tayong pang-emergency. Diba? Yan yung emergency fund. Then, ang pinaka-tip po is investment. Now, there are types of investment. We have what we call liquid investments. We have what we call solid investments. Pag sinasabi po nating liquid investments, ito po usually, okay, yung madali mong maliquidate, like stocks, mutual funds, yan po, liquid investments yan. Now, yung solid investments naman, ito yung mga real estate, yung mga tangible investments. Okay? So, yan, i-elaborate din yan along the way, okay, while we progress sa book. Now, madalas ginagawa po ng mga Pinoy, nung usually ginagawa, inuuna po yung investment bago ang healthcare. Now, the problem with that one is that later on, let's say lang, nakunod, wag naman sana, okay? Let's say, if umaabot ng 500,000 to 1 M yung bills natin sa hospital, wala tayong pambayad. Ano usually po yung una nating binibenta? Di ba po yung investments natin? Di ba po usually yung lupa na bibenta? And do you think when you need the money the most, maibebenta mo ba yung property mo? Sa tingin nyo po, mahal or mura? Exactly, di ba? You will sell it cheaper kasi kailangan mo yung pera. So that is why we need to build our financial foundation kasi gusto po natin na yung assets natin ma-protect. Gusto po natin yung mga anak natin hindi maghirap later on to pay our bills. Kasi pinagpapaaral mo ba yung anak mo ngayon for the purpose na later on magbayad sa bills mo sa hospital? I don't think so. We want a better life for them. If you're an OFW right now, hindi natin gusto na sila rin malayo sa family nila later on. Kaya nga pinagpaaral natin sila. Di ba? So, again, if you build a solid financial foundation, it's one way to tell your family that you love them. So yun yung solid financial foundation. Let's read the explanation din within sa book. So that was my explanation. First, you must have proper healthcare coverage in the event of a serious health problem or sickness. Both of these can greatly affect or upset a person's financial stability, especially during old age. Statistics show that 90% of personal bankruptcies are due to unexpected and unforeseen illnesses. Tama nga naman, di ba? Sobrang daming tao na nawawala ng wealth dahil nga naibebenta dahil walang pambayad sa hospital. Ito yung explanation ko rin kanina. Second, you must have proper protection in the event of premature death. If this happens, then you have instant money to pay off any responsibilities and liabilities left behind. Kasi nga, if may mortgage tayo sa bahay, titigil ba sila yung family mo pagbayad sa mortgage ng bahay if wala na tayo? Of course, hindi. Kailangan pa rin nila ng tahanan. So, it's a premature death. So, dapat may iwan tayo pang bayad sa bahay. Okay? Third, manage and pay off all bad debts. Fourth, set aside 3 to 6 months of your income to deal with sudden changes in job or business. This is also to pay for our unforeseen accidents or repairs. Fifth, save and make long-term investments. So, yun. And then, you should consider your healthcare and protection as a priority. Why? Even if you save a few hundred pesos or a month, but have no healthcare and life insurance, it will not take you far. Okay? When you get sick, disabled, or die suddenly, your savings won't last very long. Getting long-term healthcare and life insurance are the best investments. Okay? So, a lot of people realize these things pag may sakit na, pag kailangan na ng pera sa hospital. So, don't be like those people. Ngayon pa lang po, I hope na may na-realize kayo sa sinasabi po ng libro. Then, likewise, if you experience an emergency, but your money is tied up in some investments, how could you deal with sudden unexpected expenses? Diba? If your money was not tied up, then it could have been used as your emergency fund. Worst, if you have an emergency fund, if you have an emergency and you have no savings or emergency fund, then you may have to apply for debt. Diba? So, hindi rin pwede wala kang emergency fund, lahat nilalagay mo sa investments. Because sa investments, hindi naman yan mawi-withdraw agad. Investments takes time to be withdrawn. Kaya nga, emergency fund, usually, our advice is sa bank talaga kasi madaling ma-withdraw. Then, a strong financial foundation will result to you having sturdier and resilient finances that can withstand any money-related storms, tornadoes, and earthquakes. Following these 5 building blocks of a strong financial foundation will help build and secure your financial future. So I do hope that you follow that advice kasi yan yung pinakamagandang advice na nakuha ko rin from this book. And I do hope you apply it in your life then. So yun, that was our chapter 1 of, that was the first part, okay, of our chapter 1. Medyo mahaba itong chapter na ito. So expect that we'll be here for quite long, okay, dito sa part na ito. So I do hope that you learn something. Apply it in your life, okay? As the one who shared this video to you, more about what I discussed para mas ma-explain nila kung paano mo i-apply sa buhay mo. So thank you, and don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell till the next episode of Book Sharing with Julius. Thank you and goodbye.